Welcome to our latest episode of the Mentors Office podcast. In our last episode, we discussed valuable insights into effective class material in education. We explored the qualities that define an excellent teacher and discussed personal experiences on how to learn successfully. In today's episode, we will explore Tropykus, the first decentralized finance platform in Latin America. It leverages Bitcoin's power to transform how people save and borrow money. Through its innovative approach to providing financial solutions without the need for credit history, Tropicus is democratizing access to financial services in the region. This episode introduces a platform that allows users to deposit cryptocurrencies for savings and access attractive interest rates. Additionally, we will discuss their flexible loan options, which are designed to assist those without traditional access to capital. Discover the future of decentralized finance in Latin America with Tropicus and Diego. We are thrilled to have a technology entrepreneur with experience in decentralized digital services and design thinking. Our guest is a product leader, strategy expert, and user experience designer who has contributed significantly to Tropicus Finance and TRU Web3. Diego is also an educator and researcher, delivering valuable knowledge and insights to future generations. He holds a master's degree in strategic product design from Delft University of Technology. His exceptional achievements to the field have earned him a prestigious grant from the Ethereum Foundation. He has shaped the future of design and research as design and research manager at the University of Los Andes. We are excited to learn more. Welcome, Diego, to the Mentors Office podcast.
Welcome, Diego, to the Mentors Office podcast. It's great to have you.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thanks, Andres.
Okay, so the idea of this podcast is to help students at Udacity and also people interested in blockchain to get a deeper understanding of a real use case.
Okay, perfect.
Diego, what will Tropicus become in 5 years? What's your vision?
Well, so well, Tropicus, it's our our baby, I would say. So it was born 2 years ago, around 2 years ago, and it's a lending and borrowing platform using DeFi, decentralized finance, to help Latin Americans to have better options or better financial tools to save money and to get loans in general. That's the initial point. So after 2 years building and launching Tropicus, it was we learned so much that in 5 years, how do I envision Tropicus? For sure, we would like to be a reference in Latin America and to maximize the potential of decentralized finance in Latin America. So we know at the moment that decentralized finance is a niche market. So crypto and blockchain still are very new to the general public. So we need to work hard to bring these solutions to a mainstream audience. And this is our line of action. We we envision in 5 years probably to have most of our users no to be non-crypto native, we could say. So to be yeah, to have a public like my grandma, my mom, or my aunt, that they even don't know that they are using blockchain or crypto, but they are using finance in a different way with the better benefits than the current finance, especially in Latin America.
Right
The
now, Tropicus, I read that Tropicus had like or reached a milestone of $2 million in the platform or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, in deposits. So we have more than $2 million um, in deposits in the platform, which for a new platform is it's an interesting milestone, definitely. And but that's nothing. We are more ambitious than that, and as I said, this is just a small portion of the market and the impact that we are projecting.
And what do you think in 5 years could be the milestone in terms of deposits?
Well, I mean, there are, if we could get to a billion in deposits, that I mean,
A
and
billion,
that's, yeah,
like a
that's
billion.
not that crazy, to be honest. There are some platforms already, so the pioneers of DeFi, they're they have more than 1 billion. One of the pioneers, which is Aave, they have 7 billion at the moment. So this is, I mean, we're in our very initial point, but if we can get to the mainstream audience, to the common Latin Americans, we foresee a bigger future, much bigger future.
Diego, and what are the pain points that Tropicus addresses, and for whom?
Well, there are several pain points, and maybe it's different in different contexts. Is different. So
Yeah, maybe who are the maybe you could tell us who are the current users
yeah.
and what are the pain points that they're solving right now.
So as I said, our focus is in Latin America. So Latin Americans are our main users. It's true that we have users in Europe, also, but in Colombia and Argentina, mm, those are our main markets. And what are, the users we have currently? They are we are addressing several pain points. The first pain point is the valuation of the local currency. So if we think about Argentinian peso or Colombian peso, Argentinian even more, because they have hyperinflation. So the devaluation of the local currency, it's tremendous. So they need to protect their savings or even their salary monthly with a stronger currency, which is dollars. So we offer this opportunity in Tropicus to buy digital dollars or crypto dollars or stable coins. Uh,
So you are also an exchange.
No. We are not an exchange. We are a decentralized finance platform. So we don't swap between local currency and digital dollars, but we partner with exchanges, and they do it. So once they do it, they can open a saving account in Tropicus to get um, monthly or annual yield on their savings.
If what I understood is that right now the current user is someone that has Bitcoin, for example,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
they need liquidity in dollars, for example. Like in
Either so.
Argentina, let's say they have a one Bitcoin,
Mhm.
but they need to pay their rent or they need to, I don't know, they have an emergency and they need dollars. So instead
Yeah,
of selling their Bitcoin, they can ask for a loan in digital dollars, but giving the Bitcoin as a, how do you say it,
collateral.
as a backup, as a, I
Yeah,
don't
collateral.
remember the technical word.
Yeah, so basically there are two different use cases. The first one is I want to save money in dollars. So basically, with my local currency, I buy digital dollars and I open the saving account in Tropicus to get a yield around 6% annually at the moment. No, six between 6 and 7% annually at the moment. And then you can also get a loan, but these loans are with special conditions, as you mentioned. So what we do is, okay, you have Bitcoin, so you can use your Bitcoin as collateral and get a loan in digital dollars. So with these digital dollars in well, in US for sure, because it's the standard currency, but in other countries like Colombia or Argentina, mm, you will need to swap to the local currency. But still, these loans with using your Bitcoin as collateral, because you're using your Bitcoin as collateral, you don't want to sell it now, which is around $27,000, and some months or even a year ago it was around $60,000. So you understand the future value of Bitcoin due to scarcity. So for you, it's not just an speculative asset. It's a future asset and a store of value mainly. So you want to keep your Bitcoin for the future, and this is an option just to get liquidity using your Bitcoin as collateral and paying a fair interest rate compared to the interest rates in Latin America, that it could be in a personal loan even 50%, 40 something percent in Colombia, even 100% in Argentina. So compared to these interest rates, we are much lower. And if you have the Bitcoin or a portion of the Bitcoin, for sure you don't need to have a whole Bitcoin. It's a very good option because you understand the store of value of Bitcoin and the future value of it.
Another important thing that our audience is interested is we have many developers, many business people. What is the best way to create a project like Tropicus? Did you develop the code yourselves,
Mhm.
or did you hire people? And were you required to raise large amounts of capital to create this
Yeah,
project?
yeah, that's a very good point. So first of all, eh, I mean, we are at the technological frontier. So not only, well, tech, but also finance. It's a mix of finance, incentives, economic incentives, and technology with blockchain and DeFi. So definitely, if you want to build a project like Tropicus or like many others in this ecosystem, you need a very well thought team of developers, individuals, finance people, designers, UX researchers, business. So the team, I would say, is the most important. Then um, well, as any startup, right? So this is not different from the Web3 ecosystem. But what I
And
would
Mauricio, your co-founder, and you weren't the one that created the first prototype, or were you did you play a developer role at the beginning, or not?
No, not myself. So I'm more into the product side. Mauritius in the business side, and our initial co-founder Messi was the developer. So this is also very important when we are thinking about Web3, blockchain, crypto. There is mm, a mindset, an open source mindset. So we can we can build on top of other projects. So for example, what we did, we knew that Latin America needed DeFi, and we analyzed all the projects around in DeFi at the moment. There were not many, so it was starting. And one of the best projects, one of the pioneers, was Compound Finance. So what we did was to get some code from compound finance, and we built our own code.
They
So
were open source,
yeah, open
right?
source. So most of the
So
DeFi
you
projects are open source. So if you go to Aave, Compound, Uniswap, most of them are open source, and you can build on top of this code. And this code is completely open. So it's a great opportunity for all new developers to go there, go to GitHub, go to their repositories, check the whole code, start learning about their smart contracts, and then you can select the part of the code that you are interested, just to try to test and to create small prototypes. And then from there you start understanding, okay, this is going well, or this is not working properly, let's try again, or let's get this module. That's why they call it the money Legos in DeFi. So basically, those are parts, small parts of code that you can create this puzzle, your own puzzle, to build your solution. And since it is open source, it's a great opportunity. So yeah, for
did
developers,
you create
it's like a
a
game.
company, a formal company? Did you
Can
register the
you?
company? Did you register the company?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, at the end, once you are looking for investment, it's necessary to create a company, even though you are decentralized, and it's a decentralized, let's say a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, where all the governance is is done in a decentralized manner, so people can vote and so on. Since we are in the beginning of the project, after 2 years, we decided to go faster on the decisions, and we are sharing the decisions with our community. We're making most of the decisions after sharing them, because if we one of the main problems in this kind of decentralized models is that every single decision uh, must be shared with the community and vote in the community. So once you vote, you have all this voting process around, and it can take weeks after making a decision. So yeah, it's for companies like ours. We need to get momentum, to get speed, and to develop the product a lot, to find the product market fit. So in the beginning, it's better to test, and build at the same time, and not to ask many questions to the whole community of thousands of people, and everyone has a different opinion, so it could get messy.
and did you raise a large amount of capital?
We had a pre-seed round. I don't know if it's I mean, if I can disclose exactly the amount, but I can tell you that it's less than $1 million. So yeah, it's a pre-seed round, so it's the starting point for a company to build a stable team to start building the product. And it sounds a lot, but at the end, after 2 years, it's not that much, because you have to pay the team every single month, and with all the infrastructure, so everything, there are a lot of costs. And in this ecosystem, I would say Web3 is so early, and if they getting traction, even though we're quite happy with our traction, especially this year, mm, it's not that easy. And yeah, you can have, after a couple of years, still we're still targeting the right product market fit. So still there to get the real traction, no, these aha moments, like, yeah, we got it, we are there. So I think we're close, but still navigating these startup uncertainty moments.
Diego, and one question that business leaders and other entrepreneurs that are watching this video, or people that want to start their own Web3 business, what is the source of revenue for Tropicus? How do you make money in DeFi? Because we see, well, we see DeFi, but we also see other alternatives
Mhm.
that are going bankrupt, such as FTX,
Oh yeah.
and we see, okay, it's clear how they make money, but how can you make money in DeFi? How can you make DeFi and make money at the same time, being open source and decentralized?
Yeah, that's very very important. I think all these cases of FTX and BlockFi and all these centralized exchanges, I don't think that they went bankrupt because of mm, being crypto. No, they went
Agreed.
bankrupt due to mismanagement. So they were investing money from their users in other.
Yeah, it's
mm
for me, it's just a classical bank run, right?
yeah,
Where
exactly.
they, just bankers investing in the wrong place, and
Mhm.
because banks are, use the fractional reserve system, they are
Exactly.
using the users' money. So
Yeah, and that's very sad, because they are using users' money to invest and to take risk, and most of them excessive risk. So then this kind of situation happen. Well, that's I mean, it's not okay, for sure, it's not okay, but it happens. So if we think about DeFi, to go directly to your question, so we earn money with the loans. So we're charging um, a percentage, let's say 9% annually on a loan, and we are offering a saving account with 6%. So the the difference between both, like traditional bank, is our part of it is our revenue, and it goes directly to the reserve of our smart contracts. The smart contracts are the logic, the immutable logic, business logic, that we were written it was written in the code of Tropicus, right? So that's why blockchain, it's so relevant on these kind of projects, because once the business logic is written in the code, it can be moved. So you have this, once you deposit this amount, you can get a loan of this other amount with the collateral ratio and all these rules. So once these rules are written, your product works like this, and that's all. If you want to do a new version, you will have a different smart contract and a different setup, and probably you will need a security audit to to check that everything is correct. So the revenue model, it's this, as I mentioned. So the difference between savings and loans, and also with small fees or with partnerships, referrals, and that's pretty much. But the main is the difference between both sides of the market.
and Tropicus is decentralized. I
Yeah,
read about that, and some of the decisions that are made are decentralized.
yeah.
Like, how do you work with both things, like being decentralized and Tropicus also making the money, or the other people, or are there also people outside Tropicus that help to make the decision because it is decentralized, do they also make money or not?
No, no, at the decision level. So at the decision level, it's important to understand that decentralization it's a spectrum, right? And you cannot be at completely decentralized at the beginning. So we are not 100% decentralized at this moment because to have to be totally decentralized, you need a token. You need token holders, and we decided at this moment not to have a token first because once you have a token you need once you launch a token you need to define proper tokenomics, so the incentives of your own platform protocol are based on the incentives that you create on your token. So if and there are many examples about tokens. Most of them they were losing value over time, and this is worrying. So we said internally we will launch a token once we will find the proper tokenomics to mm, incentivize new users within the product dynamics, not just to have a token and if they buy it, okay. Otherwise, is there and yeah, it will lose value over time. So this kind of approach for us was not the right decision. Many projects did it,
Understood.
like ICOs and so on. So tokens without intrinsic value are there. You can count thousands of them. We really want to have a token that makes sense within the product, and this is not easy. I wouldn't say that because we're thinking, we're designing the mechanisms and the incentives to make it happen, but it takes time. And also the product should be embracing the token dynamics. And yeah, it requires a lot of time and a lot of thinking to launch it.
Does Tropicus hold a banking license?
No, 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 because we are not touching local currencies. So we partner with exchanges, and they have a banking license or payment. Yeah, yeah. I think they have the banking license in different countries in Latin America mainly, so our market, and so they offer the service to go from local currency, let's say Colombian pesos, to digital dollars. And once the users they have the digital dollars, they can use Tropicus to open your savings accounts or the to get a loan.
That is a question that many people have. I'm going to create a DeFi. Do I need a banking license or not?
Yeah.
And I also heard, I was listening to a podcast that Mauricio Tovar, your co founder,
Mhm.
was giving. And he was talking about that you can operate in Colombia, but for some reason, like he couldn't recommend people in the US to use it because of regulatory issues. Why is that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a matter of regulation. So we have been like listening the news from the SEC and all the uncertainty in crypto regulation in the United States, and now even cases like Coinbase being such a big exchange, they are probably moving outside of the US due to the regulation. So that's the main reason. So if regulation is not clear, it's better not to play in the market, because at the end it could generate problems for Tropicus, and we don't want. I mean, we want to be as transparent as possible. But if they don't have a proper regulation for DeFi, so better to stay aside until they create a regulation, and we decide, okay, so this is already all clear for the protocol, and the American users can use Tropicus or many other DeFi platforms, right?
But in Colombia, there's no DeFi regulation, right? Or no?
Not specifically DeFi regulation, not even in Latin America. There is no country with DeFi regulation. I think the closest regulation to DeFi is in the European Union. They released a new regulation called MiCA. This was 2 weeks ago. It was accepted by the European Parliament, and there are some articles referring to DeFi, but it's still in Latin America and in the States is still mm, waiting to be defined.
Interesting. Interesting. Diego, how can someone become a developer in Tropicus by learning the necessary technologies
So in Tropicus, you mean being part of our team?
of your team, right? Like,
Okay.
how can someone become a developer and what do they
Mhm.
need?
Well, they will need. Well, we are developing on Ethereum virtual machine. This is quite important. So, um, Solidity language. It's the basic language that we're using to develop our smart contracts.
I thought that
And
you were using the Bitcoin one,
yeah,
RSK.
yeah, RSK, but RSK, this is a interesting point. So RSK, it's a Bitcoin second layer, but they are using Ethereum virtual machine. Why? Because otherwise we wouldn't be able to create smart contracts. So if we're creating smart contracts, it's because we're using Ethereum virtual machine, or well, there are um, other virtual machines in different blockchains, but the standard one and the first one was Ethereum virtual machine. So in RSK, in Rootstock, the blockchain we're building on, what they did, they created a blockchain with the security of Bitcoin and the composability and the programmability of Ethereum with Ethereum virtual machine. So this combination, yeah, creates a very very nice option to have Bitcoin and Ethereum at the same time.
Another important question when trying to build these kind of projects and when creating companies,
Mhm.
registered companies, not just like a project. Why did you not require KYC? And is that something that a company can accomplish?
Yeah, yeah. KYC. You need KYC once you're using fiat money. So if you're using in your service either um, yeah, dollars or Colombian Argentinian pesos, you need to comply with the regulation of a fiat payment provider or the banking license that you mentioned. We actually don't know our users, so we don't know where they are coming from. We don't know their names, and it's not important for us, so it's not relevant. We are opening a financial service to save money and to get better loans for Latin Americans. And uh, all the identity is not needed. This is an advantage, I would say, because one of the main barriers for financial services worldwide is the credit history. So, well, it could be seen as an advantage, but also it could be a blocker if you don't have money to prove that you could get a loan. So either you have the credit score, or you can have savings there, like us or in our platform in Bitcoin, to get a loan. So yeah,
And our regulators, for instance, in Colombia, are they giving you problems because you don't ask for KYC?
no, 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 no. We are not a Colombian company, so I mean we are offering our service worldwide, and regulators, I guess, at one point,
And
I mean,
where are you registered as a company?
we are open to have the DeFi, the DeFi regulation with whatever, I mean, whatever regulator creates this regulation. Once they create it, we are very, very open to say, okay, are we complying with this? Perfect, let's do it, let's comply with it. But with these kind of solutions and these innovations, the point is that the innovation is coming first, and the law and the regulatory framework is coming afterwards. So then you say, okay, we need to be the innovators, we need to create these kind of solutions, and then they will create the framework with the sandbox. In Colombia, for example, the sandbox, it's a great initiative.
With
Or
that's what the government and a bank, right? With a bank.
yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
government and different banks and also exchanges, they created.
The only thing that creates doubt for me about that is the privacy issues, censorship issues related to the government not allowing you to have, uh, for example, Bitcoin, because they can track you, or they don't directly restrict the use of Bitcoin, but maybe through the use of taxes, and because they can track all of your transactions, they sort of prohibited that way with taxing. What do you think?
No, but I don't think so, because you don't need to. It's if you own cryptocurrencies, of course you need to declare your cryptocurrencies. It's part of your yeah, possessions, or your, whatever you wanna call it, part of your salary, earnings, whatever. So you need to declare it, but you don't need to say to the government, yeah, and this is my wallet. So they cannot track you at that level. They know that you have cryptocurrencies, you declare cryptocurrencies, you pay the taxes for the amount of cryptocurrencies you have. And if you earn cryptocurrencies with your salary, so then they know the amount of cryptocurrencies that a certain company paid you, and that's fine. And you pay your taxes on that. Even if I'm paying you in crypto, I'm paying you in Colombian pesos, or I'm paying you in cows. Doesn't matter. This has a value, and you will pay your taxes on that value.
Perfect. And do you think, like a quick question, do
Mhm.
you see a risk of regulators banning not requiring KYC, like
Mm,
banning that kind of anonymity or pseudo anonymity?
well, I don't I don't know. Regulation could be. It depends a lot on the country. So regulation could go in many different directions, and I would say no. I don't see the risk, but you never know where it is going, because for example, a well-known example of this was Tornado Cash. Tornado Cash was I think it was closed in the States because they they claimed that they were doing this money laundering through Tornado Cash, and it probably happened. I mean, they were checking all the transactions, and they could create these privacy transactions through Tornado Cash. But also, it's a piece of technology that then the users are taking it in different use cases, and in this use case could be harmful, definitely. So then it should be regulated, and I agree with that. But then,
But also remember that the dollar is the main currency with money laundering, right? It's not like
yeah.
there was no money laundering and then Bitcoin came and crypto came and money laundering was born.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So at the end, if cash also, it's a big problem with in general, cash with all kind of currencies around the world. Probably it's the cash is the less transparent currency. So if you
Or the
have
more
if
yeah, the most private, right?
yeah,
In
exactly, the
some
most
some
private.
sense.
So there is a problem also there. Yeah, if you have it in your bank, then your bank can track you. If you have it in blockchain, it's public also. So there's some debate that sometimes depends on the angle you see it. It could they use the arguments on their favor, and it's important to understand the arguments from the different perspectives, just to have a clear view of the of the whole thing, because sometimes.
Diego, I want to go to another topic.
Yeah.
So I was in a networking event and this topic came.
Okay.
And there seems to be a lack of plans for Bitcoin and blockchain among financial companies and
Mhm.
fintechs, both big banks, but also big startups that are providing financial services.
Yeah.
In an interview with an executive, I was informed that it was difficult from a legal standpoint, and they preferred to use central banks because of the regulation
Mhm.
instead of Bitcoin, instead of digital dollars. How would you respond to these companies? And what would you do if you were the CEO of a bank or a large fintech company?
Yeah. Well, I think big banks are already into crypto, but a lot. So, and this is public also. So, JP Morgan, they have mm, a lot of Bitcoin on their treasuries. And JP Morgan is just an example, but there are many, many big banks that they saw Bitcoin as an interesting asset, as a store of value. So the substitute of gold, or mm, yeah, different a different asset. So I wouldn't say that they are not watching very very close Bitcoin and other crypto assets, and they're learning. They have their own departments about,
That's a good point.
yeah.
But not many are offering services to end user. Maybe that's a really good point. They're owning Bitcoin in their balance sheet for financial risk or as a way
Mhm.
to diversify or invest. But also, well, this happened to me that I didn't saw an interest. Like I asked about the the future, did they plan to integrate, let's say, Bitcoin? And it seems that
It's
they didn't have any plans.
it's it's happening. It's happening, but it depends a lot, as you said, on the regulation. So if you look at the regulation in Brazil, so Brazil, it's getting it's becoming a crypto friendly country, and they're offering big banks like Santander Bank. They're offering crypto services, so you can buy Bitcoin, you can buy Ether, and they are also researching about loans. And they can do it because the regulation of Brazil, it's open to these new services. Yeah, in the States, apparently the regulation is going to the other side of the spectrum. So they are stopping everything, blocking all these kind of services, and we will have the time to to create the regulation that they think that it's more favorable for them. But Brazil, it's a huge market, but also an open that they are opening innovation in crypto, and it's very very interesting to see what they're offering. But depends a lot on the country, as I said.
One technical question that I want to ask you is, what made you choose RSK over Ethereum for developing the smart contracts? Could you please describe the process by which you made
Yeah,
that business decision?
yeah. So RSK, it's a small blockchain compared to Ethereum. So Ethereum is one of the biggest, probably the biggest blockchain to build any kind of blockchain service. Um, RSK, it's interesting, as I said, because it makes Bitcoin and Ethereum virtual machine, so we can build smart contracts on top of Bitcoin. And we saw this as an opportunity. DeFi on Ethereum was already developed with the main players, as I mentioned, Compound, Aave, and well, Synthetics, and many others. And we thought that in Latin America, the devaluation, the distrust on the government, the high fees in local banks. So there are several factors that helped Bitcoin to stand out and to see Bitcoin as a very very good store of value, or as an alternative currency. And we thought also, okay, so if we're offering this product for Latin America and Bitcoin, it's already there, with within the early adopters, of course, but it's easier to understand a technology like Bitcoin when you have a real need to be satisfied. So once you have this real need in the financial context, Bitcoin was more or less easy to understand for them. So we decided, okay, if we build a product, a DeFi product for Latin America, we need to use Bitcoin because it's been used already there. So that was the whole decision.
And did it play any role, like from a monetary standpoint, that you think that Bitcoin is better than Ethereum, the money?
No, 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 no. For us, no, because actually we build previous projects on Ethereum, and I think there are different natures. So Bitcoin and Ethereum, they are completely different assets. So Ether, the token of Ethereum, it's a utility token. So you use the token to use the services that are created on top of Ethereum. But Bitcoin, it's it has its own nature. It's just the the most powerful store of value in the digital world. So even though there are other coins, this use case will be the Bitcoin use case forever. Then Ethereum could add the programmability, the smart contracts, and all these transactions will be used using the Ethereum token. But they are not comparable, in my opinion.
Did the proof of work versus proof of stake had any relevance in that decision?
No, no, because when we took the decision, proof of stake wasn't there, so it was expected, but yeah, it
And
was
what do you
not a
think
real.
now? If you were going
Mm,
to create it today,
maybe,
would it play
yeah.
an important role if it
We're
was
we're
proof of stake or
we're
proof or
yeah, we're
of work
experimenting
chain?
with proof of stake blockchains in Tropykus. So yeah, probably we will have also services using proof of stake, and it's a different approach. We will well, there are pros and cons, definitely.
Yeah, there is a lot of
In
debate if proof of stake is just like fiat money in some sense,
Well,
as it
yeah,
doesn't
we
require,
can, we
let's
can
say,
we can have a whole
work
podcast
behind it.
debating about it. But yeah, I think well, proof of stake is a good evolution of the technology. They're more, yeah, maximalist, that they will defend proof of work, and it's also it makes sense to for Bitcoin, for example, or technologies related to Bitcoin. But for new blockchains, proof of stake is offering um, a very good option to build on top of it, and with a different consensus layer, different mechanism, and yeah, maybe with less energy consumption. So I would say that it's a good way to go in general terms, and everything needs to evolve. So why not blockchains?
I want to ask one question that will interest Udacity, their staff, but also our students,
Mhm.
and is what skills and technologies are likely to be high in demand by DeFi companies in the next 5 years? What are those technologies that in 5 years, or programming languages or something, that are going to be high in demand if they want to get a job in DeFi? What do you think?
Difficult to say. So I guess, looking backwards the last 6 months, mm, yeah, I mean it changed quite a lot the programming the programming dynamics with all the launch of ChatGPT and so on, as a copilot of developers. So yeah, I couldn't say actually one or two technologies that are very well in 5 years,
And what
definitely.
about second layer protocols such as Polygon? Do you think that's could be high in demand, or you don't see that actually it's going to be high in demand in 5 years? Like, what would you
Yeah,
recommend to a person that is studying and it's planning a career? Like, what should they invest their time in developing the skills?
yeah,
Okay, right
I
now
will.
the Udacity library has Solidity, Ethereum has oracles,
Mhm.
um,
I would say my
CK Snarks, but what
recommendation,
else?
yeah, my recommendation, it's go to study zero knowledge. So zero knowledge, it's a technology that it's starting now. So Polygon launched zero knowledge Ethereum virtual machine. And zero knowledge is it's an approach, and it's a technology just to help to make mm, decisions, or to create proofs mm, that can be more private. Yeah, it's related to
Yeah,
privacy.
we have it in the nano degree. We have the final project is related to zero proofs
Okay,
using, I don't know the library if you have heard it, Socrates,
okay.
that helps to that.
Yeah, this line of research, I think it's creating so many different solutions in the near future. Maybe not even in 5 years, but zero knowledge, it's very promising, very promising. And yeah, snarks is something that very technical people in blockchain is also talking about, and that they can basically minimize the amount of cost with the different transactions.
Right, doing things off chain.
Yeah, so and with the roll ups and so on, this technology is closer to cryptography. We definitely needed to be taken into account to study for the next 5 years. I think we will see maybe in the next couple of years how all this is evolving. So if I think back 2 years when we started Tropicus, oh, it's like okay, this changed so much, and and I cannot even imagine with mixing zero knowledge proofs with also all the AI, and this could be a different a different DeFi world.
Well, I think
It's
that this has been a very interesting conversation. And to end, one final question. I think that many of the people listening to this podcast, students, people outside Udacity, may be
Mhm.
interesting in working with Tropicus or something. What's the current tech stack that you have, and what do they need to learn if they want to become a developer for Tropicus?
Yeah. Well, as I said, Solidity language for
Mhm.
smart contracts, and then we use React, we use Vue also. What else? Yeah, mainly that. React Vue, and it depends also if you're a front end developer or a back end developer. Infrastructure is something important. So, with all, we require a good understanding of Amazon Web Services or Azure, or so all these servers, infrastructure with the nodes and so on. So this is, I would say that the stack is there: Solidity, React, Vue, and the server infrastructure management.
Perfect, Diego. Diego, I want to thank you for your time. I'm going to share in the comments or the notes part of the podcast all the links to Tropicus, to their social networks, and also to their websites in case that you want to contact them for business, for working there. And yeah, I want to thank you for your time. It was a great experience, and we learned a lot.
Oh, thanks for your time. And yeah, I would like to invite you all to the Tropicus community in Telegram. We are more than 1,300 people there, sharing knowledge about blockchain, trying to improve the product, learning about the different trends that are happening in blockchain and crypto. So if you want to join, you're more than welcome. We're there. The whole team of Tropicus is there, technical team, product team, business team, and we are we have a English specific channel to answer any kind of question. So very very welcome to join us there and yeah, learn together, build together. That would be awesome.
Thank you, Diego, and thank you for all our listeners, and see you in the next episode.